hello today. My name is Henry Waldo. I spent most of my life in Lincoln. I say most of it because I was born in East Randolph, Vermont, which if you don't know, it's like 30 miles south of Barrie. It's in what is now known as the Green Mountain National Forest, which is odd in that I lived most of my life in the White Mountain National Forest. I graduated from high school over there in 1922, and I applied to and was accepted to the University of Maine in Orono forestry training program, where I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree in 1926. I got a job here in Lincoln working for the Parker Young Company, and working as I spent most of my time in the woods, taking care of crews, doing some surveying and working. My time in Lincoln, towards the later years, I spent a lot of time in civic duty. I was on the budget committee for the town. I was on the school board. I was a selectman. I did some time down in Concord representing Lincoln in the forest. And I spent a couple of years down in Washington, D.C. working for the forestry division. But I'm getting ahead of myself. While after the 6 years working with Parker Young, they loaned me out to the Civilian Conservation Corps, where I spent time surveying for roads and ski trails. I don't remember this for sure, but I gotta believe the ski trails were at Cannon Mountain. At that time they had a couple, and Waterville Valley. I also surveyed the roads into Waterville Valley, now called the AAA Road and the River Road. After that was finished, the CCC sent me back to Parker Young, where I worked in the woods, again surveying, cruising, measuring timber, and making sure that the loggers and the truck drivers they all got paid, which led me into the business of the town for the budget committee and other things. I've lost myself. I spent time with Parker Young right up until the paper mill closed. One of the major jobs I did was when the White Mountain National Forest was being organized. 72,000 acres of Parker Young land was being sold. In that 72,000 acres was 7,000 acres of virgin forest. I had to mark the boundaries to the forest, to the virgin forest. And that happened in late fall, November, and early winter, December and January. One of the stories I like to tell is when I was walking out after a day of boundary walking. I was heading for the railroad tracks, and I stepped on a hibernating bear. I don't know who was more scared, me or the bear. After that, I ended up in Washington, D.C., where I did work for the forestry division for the national government. And my son, William, got very sick. So we ended up coming back to Lincoln. I stayed here the rest of my life. once the mill had closed down, I kind of retired, went into public service. I lived to the ripe old age of 90 years old. Finally passed away in 1994. I had 2 wives. My first wife was Mildred. We got married in 1926, and she died 46 years later. I then spent 6 years as a bachelor and ended up marrying Rena Proctor of Lincoln. And she was my wife when I passed away. And I guess I got most of the high points. Family always was and always will be one of my favorite subjects. Spent time with my son hunting, fishing, camping, out in the woods. That's what he enjoyed, that's what I enjoyed. And I kind of think that the reason I lived to be 90 is that I spent a fair amount of time keeping busy and exploring. Have a good day.
Thank you.